going to be talking about what nobody tells you about finding jobs in Australia. The truth that you can't find online, basically, especially as an African immigrant. So if you're an African immigrant and you've been struggling with jobs, or you're planning to migrate to Australia and you're thinking and making plans, you're going to learn a lot from this episode. And why should you actually watch to the end? Two slot of full-time employees, and you're going to pay them more than $20,000 or $30,000. My name is Noah, and I'm a founder entrepreneur that built Sing Skills, which is a company focused on helping African immigrants to be able to build skills, get the support needed to be able to get an amazing job and thrive in their career. And we've helped a lot of people to achieve that dream. So many people that were going through pain, working long hours, missing precious moments, feeling burnt out and had nowhere to go, until they found us and we helped them change their life. So this episode, I'm going to be sharing 3 important points and a bonus. So please stick to the end, because genuinely this can give you the clarity that you need and potentially change your life, honestly speaking. So many people have come on our podcast and we've shared some of this information before, and they're like, wow, this was the thing I needed to be able to change my life, and they took action, and they're like, thank God I met you guys. Why didn't I meet you like 5 years ago? My life would have been way different. So I'd say that you're very lucky to have this information that I'm going to be sharing. Let's start from the myth about the job market broadly in Australia. So many people say, well, these jobs are saturated, a lot of jobs are so hard to get. Whatever spectrum of the debate you're in, whether you believe that there are no jobs, it's saturated, or there are jobs but it's tough to get, I would say to you, focus on the data. So if you go on some of the most popular job platforms like seek.com.au, Indeed, careers1.au, smart jobs, some state focused job board, you see a lot of vacancies. And this is not specific to tech, it's a lot like more general. There are a lot of opportunities, but different industry value different things, which I'm also going to be talking about. How do you translate your skills and experience to what Australian employers will want? It's so important, and you need to understand a lot of people have been moving out of the city area because, again, cost of living crisis and all of those challenges make it very tough for you to be able to live in those type of area. That's like well documented, not just Australia, but to be fair, like everywhere. In saying that, for you to get a job in Australia, you can't just say, I'm just clicking easy apply or quick apply and you're going to get opportunity. Like, there's a format for how you're going to submit your resume. There's a format for how you pitch yourself. You're going to have an elevator pitch. Typically, they may call you after they've received your good resume, phone interview, and people don't regard that as phone interview. They think it's just a casual talk and they just treat it the same way, thereby losing out on opportunities. So it's not just a casual phone call. Some of the recruiter will just say, yeah, I'm just trying to discover, but it's a phone interview. You need to treat it that way. Because think about it, if you are lucky, you get the recruiter call you, they're trying to shortlist you basically. And if they're trying to shortlist you and you're just casual, you're not giving them enough information, similar in the way you do interviews, then you're not going to get opportunity, and then you're just going to say, well, they're finding it hard to get a job. Now, that thing I want to talk about is that high skill job and low skill job. Most people, especially African immigrants, when you come here, depending on the people you meet, they probably work in a particular sector, and what we've seen maybe low skill sector, and they tell you that's where you can find job. Really, if you're not well prepared, you have to jump on that and have that same belief that, but you're like accountant, lawyer, you're a professional, IT professional, you're a software developer, you may just fall into the trap, because also there's financial pressure, so you've got to like start to make money, else you're going to suffer, right? And then maybe 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, you forget about your actual calling and you just keep doing it. The second point I want to talk about that people don't tell you is that those jobs you're seeing there, some of them are just for camouflage, because by law you've got to advertise a vacancy even if you have like preferred candidate, right? Internally, connection is super important. And how do you build connection if you are new in the country or you're an immigrant? You haven't got like a deep connection base, and that's why we always say like network, join webinars, because that's where you get industry insight, you get new ideas, you learn, you meet people, you connect. That's how you start to build your connection base. It's just like business as well. A lot of opportunities are sealed when you go for event, you meet somebody and they say, oh yeah, this is what I do, and they say, I know somebody that looks for services like this, and they're like, oh, I'm going to give you your card, the person's card, and you do an introduction. The next one I should talk about in terms of how you tackle roles being filled is also having strategy, right? For example, the healthcare is growing, tech industry is growing by nature. We've helped a lot of people actually, translate that skills into tech roles, and they've gone on to be business analyst, project manager, scrum master, etc. So if you're in a role where you're just like finding blockers, you're not able to move forward, and you want to change that, you want to do something that is more high growth, give you more opportunity to earn more, you can reach out to us on Instagram, send us a message, the information in the description. Basically, you can translate that skills like communication, active listening, your domain knowledge and expertise can be translated into tech roles that you don't need to learn how to code. You just learn technical skills and marry it with your domain expertise in your specific role, and that has changed so many people. So it doesn't just happen by luck, it happens with strategy, and that's really the crux of what I'm saying. You need strategy, you need network. There are unwritten rules that you need to know about, just like anywhere as well. Nigeria, think about it, UK, anywhere really, your network pays you. The third one is very important. I see a lot of people, even people that have gone to do masters or certification and everything, they come and say, hey, I applied to this job, they said I don't have Australian experience. It's a real thing, guys. It's really real. The employer struggled to get skilled talent. When they get good people, they want to keep those people, they want to treat them well. However, not many employers want to gamble. Like, even if you're somebody that work internationally, you have international experience, because it's also very expensive to hire people here in Australia for businesses. They want to be sure the person they're hiring can do the job, understand the system, the culture, and how they can be effective here, because they may not have big budget to train them and help them do all of that. Most of the time, they want people that can deliver from day one on the job. Now, in saying that, how do you then, if you're an employer and you just have 2 slots of full-time employees and you're going to pay them $120,000, $130,000, you want to be absolutely sure that the people you bring on board are people that can smash it for you. If you think about it from their perspective, then you understand that if you're trying to get a job, you need to position yourself in a way that you become irresistible. And how do you do that? First of all, how you show up with your resume, your personal branding online, LinkedIn profile, etc. If you apply with cover letter where applicable, you need to have elevator pitch when they call you, how you present your value, what you can do, how you can solve problems for them. Those things kind of help them understand the system works. Plus, you can get local experience, internship, opportunity, then that local experience can open door for you. But the thing is, even as immigrants, it's also very tough to get internship opportunity because there are limited spot as well. So you're not going to be prioritized. That's why we have like partnership with companies that our students can get that experience, that limitation, that barrier just dissipated, like remove it for you effectively. So those are some of the advantage that is exclusive for people that we train and coach and mentor. They get to navigate this big issue of Australia. So if you've had like that experience where they need you to have Australian experience, let me know in the comment section and how you're navigating that, or if you've navigated that, let me know. By the way, and that takes me to the sponsor of this video. Oloja is a marketplace, a platform built for African immigrants who want to find amazing businesses or service providers. If you want to enjoy that African taste, or you want African culture infused in the things that you shop for, you can find amazing vendors, businesses on Oloja. And if you're a business, you're an African business, you can get on the platform and showcase your product. Can't wait to see you there. Sign up, the link in the description below, oloja.com.au. Alright, the last one we're going to talk about is the preparation that you do, especially for people, new immigrants coming into country. I want you to really consider, like, if you're a doctor, if you're a nurse, or a surgeon, in those specialized skill area where you need license, you need to be able to translate your skills, your experience into Australian experience, because I've seen some people who now had to do jobs below their skill levels just to survive, like cleaning job, factory job, that even makes it harder. You can imagine you're trying to do that type of job, you're so exhausted and you're trying to prepare for exams that qualify you as well, and you don't want to fail it because a lot of money you're paying. It's very challenging. If you've got a family, you can imagine, like, it's so difficult and you burn out a lot. So if you can make plans, maybe financial plan or strategy on getting some of those licenses in a more efficient way, maybe go to another country. I know some people that went to the UK and got it, and then they can translate that into Australian recognized license more effectively. You do that. So what I'm saying here, you need to prepare for that restart process so you don't get into jobs that burns you out or you get stuck forever. What I'm going to talk about next. So if you're in tech, which is my expertise, for example, don't just focus on certification, right? That's not really what employer want when it comes to getting the job. Now, there are three key things that I'll just say on a high level that would help you appeal to the employer to make you feel like, whoa, we've been saying not to hire you. Number one, you gotta have relevant skills. So if you're an accountant, have relevant skill in that area. But I'm talking about tech now. So if you're a business analyst, project manager, software developer, whatever role, have these relevant skills. Because having skills is not enough. You gotta have demonstrated experience in that skill. So if you're a developer, how many years experience, real experience, you have that role? If you're a business owner, how many years of experience do you have in that role? So it's super important because experience will teach you the most optimal way to tackle a problem, the mistakes to avoid, all of those things. Remember the psychology of the employer that says to them that, hey, you'll be able to deliver value from day one. You'll not be dilly-dally and be wasting time impacting the business. And running a business in Australia is very challenging, and I know that as well. So you always need skilled people. When I moved to Australia, like, that was the part that was so challenging for me. Even though I've been a coach, mentor back home in Nigeria for years, I have the skills and the experience, no issues there. But how do you market it? How do you translate how do you speak the language that would minimize them saying, oh, you're lacking some culture fit, or we went with another stronger candidate? The reason they tell you all of those things is because you're not marketing yourself well enough. You're not irresistible. And that's why we built a framework that helps you become irresistible, called the Speak Framework. It's going to be disjointed, right? So we want you to add some personal stuff, because some people will say, well, in my experience, we did this. You need to make it personal, like, because we make it look like, if you say we, it makes it look like you are not the one that taking ownership and accountability for delivering that. That's dangerous for you because you're just going to get that response, right? And preparation helps you limit it. It gives you more confidence and you're more robust. So if you're not engaging, it's hard to follow. They are looking at a potential colleague. They don't want somebody that cannot even articulate, engage in conversation. And you need to be authentic. Bring your authentic self into that conversation. Just like in sales, it's your story that resonates with the audience, like the interviewers, that will make you memorable. Like, oh, we want to hire this person. They said they can do this job. I remember they answered this question. If you don't do that, there's nothing they can pick out. They're not going to hire you. So it's going to be tough. And then you need to, more importantly, speak from a place of knowledge. So the Speak framework helps you with the best preparation. And that's what we've used to change so many people's life. You would be amazed. And I went through that journey, learned from that experience where I was losing out on opportunity. Like, I would go to an interview and I would deliver technical response. I was confident, I was engaging, but there was something missing. There was the storytelling was not connecting. It was not memorable. How I learned that was, like, I saw Tara's like amazing. She understood the control for the framing, the context, like all those things that help you draw people in, that make them feel like they're in front of you and having conversation. Like, do you know what happened when I was working? They had this issue before I came in, their system, and that was affecting customer. Sometimes weekend will not be able to even process any transaction. And I came in on board, and that was the first thing we needed to fix for the organization. So I worked with the development team. We had to build an app, provided XYZ feature, then we deployed it in like 6 months, and we resolved that problem. And today we acquired all our customer. The NPS score for the organization increased because customers are having a better time in the new platform we built. As a result, customer base grew, made millions of dollars in the first 3-6 months. We got recognition from the MD. Basically, if you do this, the outcome of your interview will start to shift towards your favor, and that is super important. I hope you're getting value from this video. If you are, please let me know in the comment section. It really means a lot to me. Share with a friend. This can change their life. And if you've got any question, if you want me to make any video, pop the question there, and I'll see you next time.